Well, she definitely has written a wonderful book, Giselle Roeder, but we might know you differently, Winnipeggers that is, as the face of Giselle's, now known as Giselle's Skincare. So how many years did you spend living in Winnipeg?
20.
And how did you come to Winnipeg?
That's a story in itself. I emigrated to Vancouver, and I loved Vancouver. It was so beautiful. When my husband picked me up at the hardly known husband, and we drove over the Lions Gate, I became very quiet. And he said, well, what do you think? And I said, I think this is a holiday place. This is too beautiful. I don't think I live here. And he said, well, you better get used to it. 5 months later, transferred to Winnipeg. I cried almost all the way. And Ben, my little stepdaughter at 4 years, she said, Dad, why is Mom crying so much? I didn't want to leave. Aww. But then we came to Winnipeg and lived in an upper duplex on Dorchester. I drove by a few days ago, still there. And it was nice. It's a nice family area, and it's a good place to bring up a family.
So how did you get into the beauty end?
Because I had a degree from Germany. I actually had several. I was into all kinds of things, but the aesthetic was very important, so I became a diploma cosmetician, a diploma esthetician. And over here, people had not heard about European facials. A facial here consisted of cleansing, mask, and makeup. Wash off the mask and the makeup. That was a facial. And I had different ideas. And I started giving little talks to women, 5, 6 in a house or so, and some of them belonged to churches, and then I did that in churches, and then I did that in a school gym hall because people were more. And then one day I was interviewed by a lady from CBC. I had to join the union for that. And she said, you have to open a shop. Oh. And I said, well, I have 3 kids, I can't. And I did all this for free, right? I never charged. And she said, well, I know a place, they are going bankrupt, and they would give you a sublet, 1 room, and you could do facials because they do just nails. And I thought just nails was a hardware shop for nails, right? And that's where I started out, in Tuxedo Park Shopping Center, 1 room. And I also went to Vancouver, and I had a lecture with the Y Women's Club, and there were over 200 people, and a young woman approached me afterwards and said, my boyfriend is transferred to Winnipeg and I'm an esthetician. Would you know of a job for me? Well, there was my chance. So I hired her, she came to Winnipeg and she worked in that place.
Well, I know, and
it went from there.
Yeah, and in the heyday of your business.
I had 2 shops, first from Tuxedo. She took over my business practically, started doing the facials herself by hiring somebody. And then I started a shop above 7-Eleven on Academy. But then I opened the downtown shop because my 2 stepdaughters had grown up and both became estheticians against my will because they were smart. They could have gone to university, but they wanted to earn money first. They are both educated now. And so I had 2 shops, and then in the end I had 18 girls, and then this lady, customer, approached me one year and said, have you ever thought of selling? And I said, no. Well, think about it. And that year I was separated, and I thought I was very depressed.
Yes.
And I thought it might be a good idea to get away from this, because I had 18 girls, and to bring in the money to pay everyone. I never worked with bank money. I always worked with my own.
So, I mean, everything along your life, Giselle, you have done and you've made. Now you can sit back. You're writing a book. You have been a successful businesswoman. How does that all kind of come together into the Giselle of today? Where are you now in your life?
Where am I now? I'm getting old and I'm spending too much time at the computer writing. I'm not writing just the sequel to this, My Canadian Life. The subtitle is A Roller Coaster Through 5 Decades.
Well,
But we needed
yes.
a catchy title. I still give lectures. I do a lot of library readings. And readings at Chapters and Coles and
Yes.
shops like McNally's and wherever I'm
Yes.
wanted.
Well, I mean,
I'm busy.
You are busy, and I think a real testament to you are never ever too old to try something new. And
No,
I think
your
that,
brain stays alive, right?
I think that you will continue on, and we are so proud and happy to have you back here.
Thank you.
There you go. We are glad to be of service. Giselle Roeder for Backstage 30. I'm Tracy Koga.